Hey guys, so I've been selling a lot of valve index kits here, and previously I didn't support a front end grip, and still it's technically experimental, but I've had a couple customers that didn't see the slides showing that in like the full kit and the kit plus, the valve index is not supported in the same way, and it's only the forearm brace. And I decided, hey, what the heck, I'm gonna throw in my the parts that I have in prototype for the front end grip, which I do have one buddy who's kind of helped give feedback, and he says it's great, but I want a couple other people to try it. So here we are. I'm uploading this to help out the few customers that are gonna see these weird parts that I don't have explanations for, so they have something to go by. So Valve Index, Valve was very cool to supply everybody in the world with a free STL file of a grip, and I just simply attached my lovely little gear in roughly the same spot that all my gears go to adapt it to my product, and I've sold 50 of these. So I know this works, and I also know this bit works. What I don't know, if it aligns and all that stuff, are these bits, and we'll get to that in just a second. But let's do an assembly video just for Valve Index folks. So first off, I like to store this screw in what I call the main beam for the buttstock portion. And you pop that through this little hole, and you screw it in. And once it's snug, it is very, 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 very tight, very strong. Like it's absurdly strong, as I point out. These little gears do wonders. I'm a drummer, and I don't know, it kind of works because that's how cymbal stands work. The things on a drum set, they all use these gear type of connections. So I've been using this type of stuff all my life, and it was only logical for me to apply it to a gun stock design when I wanted to be able to do some angle adjustments. So that's how all this bolts together, and just like a cymbal stand, once it's tight, it ain't going nowhere. The gears are stronger than a lot of the other pieces of plastic somehow. And I've beefed this up over a long period, so I don't really get anybody breaking these anymore, which is great. I hardly ever sell replacement parts, partially because I give a lot of replacement parts, but I haven't even seen pictures in months of anybody breaking a part, except when it's come damaged in the mail. Anyway, next step. So that's your buttstock, and of course it's length adjustable here. Don't need to go through all that. So now you have the butt portion put together after getting it out of the mail, and this comes pre-assembled. I work very hard to get these to where you only have to kind of do 3-4 bolts, and then you're in the game. So here is a good starting point for the forearm brace. You pop that through. Of course you can adjust it, but I like it about there. I have a whole video talking about how the forearm brace works. Don't want it on your wrist, although a lot of people do, and it does work in some games. I put it way up here because that 45-degree angle allows me to use a lot of different weapons and stay in line with the controller, as I've pointed out in that other video, the common questions, tips, and tricks. So there's the product with the forearm brace, and of course, all new models are getting the reversible noodle. So here's the XL version of the noodle. The front grip, so I don't have a Valve Index. So again, I used a buddy of mine who has a Valve Index, sending prototypes over kind of a long period, and kind of molded this piece around the bottom and stuck a gear on it. So this slips onto the bottom of the controller, so right about here. Since I don't have a Valve Index, I don't know how tall to make it. So there's an additional, let's call it a Z gear, right here to get your starting point kind of figured out. So you might want it about here, and then the main sleeve for the front grip is this guy, and I should have printed this one in the color just for the video, but this is kind of what it looks like. We have a female gear end, and that goes right here. And once you get it all put together, you can kind of figure out where things align and here you go. All right, and then you have this guy, just a weird molded thing. It's been a long time just taking the index controller and trying to take a little cup shape and mold it around the grip. Because as I understand it, with the index, you need to have the entirety of that grip free for your hands to go on. So it's just a very small space for you to take that offhand, and you're still holding the entirety of the controller. None of the touch sensitive pad is covered up with this piece of plastic, and you just simply rest like that. So it's this small piece up front. That's the only type that I have currently for index. You know, for Quest and the other, you know, headsets with the button, I have all sorts of different front end grip types. So this is the one. Instead of type 1, it is the one and only grip type that I have for index at the moment. But I hear good things. So you pop that on, and of course it's all length adjustable, and you can do certain things. Like if you didn't need this Z-bar, you can connect this directly to here and get it a little bit shorter. Very simple. And then, yeah, one other little tidbit is actually, I think I'm doing this the wrong way. I like to reverse, I think you would want to reverse this knob. Instead of having the metal out, have the plastic out, although it doesn't really matter. Just on this one spot, so you don't scratch up your controller. Just a nice little protector for your controller, just to have plastic there instead, like that. Not sure if that's necessary or not, but you know, if you bump up against that with your controller as you're trying to find it, that'll protect it from being scratched. Ultimately, it's going to be your hand there, so whatever's the most comfortable. So yeah, I've assembled this upside down, technically. But it doesn't matter. This is angle rotatable as well. So let's just reverse that. Trying to make sure I'm showing everything on screen while putting it together, so I wasn't paying attention. So that just goes on the bottom of the index controller itself, and now gives you a front end grip. And if you guys don't like it, I'll send new versions or just refund, because it's really more about the test data right now. Technically, this isn't being sold, although I have now like 3-4 customers with this coming to them, and they'll probably not know what to do with it until they see this. So that's it. Like every other kit, you get a lot of spare parts, although I've beefed these up, and I don't know if they're necessary. I love feedback on that, because the less spare parts that I need to ship, as you guys, you know, maybe bump into things less, or maybe it's just holding up better, I'll start switching over and doing more stuff like this, including more usable bits and bobs to improve your actual gaming experience instead of just having as many backups. But I need to hear from you guys, so I'd love to hear your feedback on that. But there's some assembly instructions for the Valve Index version. Thanks, guys.